the next part that I want to go ahead and clarify. All right? Just be straight up about. All right? So, for the people that do not look at weed as medicine, all right? Understand something. Trying to go ahead and, constantly reduce somebody's rights just because fuck you, I'm going to keep targeting you until I take away every fucking right you have. All right. So, every opportunity that I had, because I want to clarify, somebody had asked me to watch something for them, all right? It was a semi-automatic, I believe it was AR-15 with bump stock, all right? Now, ultimately, when that ended up falling into my lap, that right there was a circumstance that ultimately choices could have been made, all right? Now, I want you to understand, at this point, I was in the height of that harassment campaign getting targeted at me, all right? With that harassment campaign, I had the option. Hop on my fucking scooter, put that AR-15 in a guitar case, ride over to the person that wanted to have that harassment campaign perpetuated. To try to make the point, it doesn't matter where the fuck you move to. It doesn't matter where the fuck you live. You only get peace when I say you fucking get peace. Wanting to be my personal fucking god. So I had the option. Do I go? Do I take this basically weapon of war and go ahead and, end it once and for all? Because, hey, good luck harassing me if you're fucking dead, right? Or do I go ahead and make a point? And I decided to make a point. The point that I made is, no matter how much anybody paints me out to be the fucking monster in their story, I chose how much of a monster to be. If I chose, for anger management reasons, to go ahead and use, for example, therapeutic coping technique, all right? If I want to go ahead and draw a portrait on a piece of paper of somebody that's pissed me off and wanted to contribute to constantly fanning the fucking flames, and I want to draw their picture on a piece of paper and then take that piece of paper and burn it, which is the equivalent of going ahead and writing a letter to the person who ended up going ahead and constantly abusing you and trying to traumatize you and re-traumatize you, to go ahead and vent out all of that suppressed emotions. And you never have to give it to them. The only thing you do, you burn it up and have that be a metaphor for all of the resentments, because you shouldn't have to carry that on your shoulders just because somebody wants to go ahead and cause you to have a chip on your shoulder because they're pissed off at the factor that you ended up going ahead and living through all the bullshit that they wanted to put you through because they were ashamed that they fucking failed at their mission of pushing you to the point of apparently self-loathing so much that you would go ahead and make their fucking job easier and go and kill yourself instead of going ahead and being a fucking man about it or a woman about it. And actually, if you want that fucking person dead, you go do it yourself. Oh, but you don't want them dead enough to go ahead and risk the fucking prison time to actually do your own fucking dirt? Yeah. Then ultimately you need to shut the fuck up about what your resentment is. Alright? Ultimately, on a daily basis, every day is a choice to do the right thing or the wrong thing. And I had made it a point on a day-to-day basis, while still being provoked, to not act on the violent urges caused by an over 20-year fucking harassment campaign. I have literally survived things that we are not allowed to do as a nation to fucking war criminals and terrorists. So understand something. When somebody gets pushed that far and they are telling you, you need to back the fuck off because you'll get the response that you've been waiting for, but you may not have a pulse to go ahead and be able to revel in your glory of it if you don't fucking understand that you went way too fucking far. You really might want to heed their warnings. Because understand, somebody going ahead and restraining themselves and refraining from doing that because of thinking, you know what? I'm going to hold out hope that maybe one day my existence will not be complete and utter shit. Let them hold on to that hope. If that hope is fucking saving lives, you do what you can to nurture that hope. You treat that hope like a fucking newborn child, and you protect it. And you do what you can to help that person fucking protect it. Because understand, if they lose that hope, they lose everything. And if they lose everything, if you end up being fucking collateral damage and lose your life because you wanted to interrupt a fucking conflict that you had nothing to do with, then you brought the consequences on yourself. Take morality out of the situation. Understand, you know when the last time I fucking raised a hand to anybody even was? Do you know when the last time I got in a fucking fight was? Yeah, the last time I got in a fight was when I ended up getting a welcome to fucking South with a fucking steel-toe boot to the face. Literally, the only reason that I even fought in the first place was because of the fact that the motherfucker that went to go attack me did not give a shit of the fact that there was a frightened little girl right in the corner, didn't give a fuck that it was going to traumatize her, didn't give a fuck about the factor that ultimately I had no idea what the situation was. This was somebody I didn't even know fucking existed. The only thing I was trying to do was move out to fucking get away from my abuser. And even with that, I ended up apparently having to go to scrap it out because everyone wanted to go ahead and start up this whole fucking conflict. Not understanding that when I do fight, yeah, the times that I have fight and willingly fought back, I don't give a fuck about body damage. I don't give a fuck about the long-term damage. Understand, at the end of that fucking conflict, you may walk away from it, you may not walk away with it with your life. That's not my fucking concern. But when you try to interrupt me trying to peacefully coexist and constantly rattling your fucking assumptions based on the fact that you may have a traumatic fucking memory with me, all because of the fact that you wanted to fuck around and do everything possible to not have to take accountability for the role you fucking played in escalating a situation so fucking bad that it ends up going ahead and being a national fucking conflict that the Department of Defense has to get into the middle of. Understand, at that point, you are literally so fucking ignorant on self-accountability while wanting to be absolutely fucking preachy, demanding accountability, but not even understanding what the fuck it actually means. So understand something, alright? Look in the fucking mirror and learn where to draw the fucking line. And if you don't, and that person, after years of constant harassment, ends up going ahead and deciding, you know what, fuck it, I don't get peace until you're dead. So you've pushed me to that point. I never wanted to be that. But ultimately, I want to be able to enjoy my existence. And your existence, apparently, makes it impossible to ever fucking do that. Then at that point, when you end up a fucking obituary, really take self-inventory of how the fuck it got there.